today, we're going to explore an architectural style that's, well, it's about as old as humanity itself. But here's the wild part. It might just hold the key to our future. We are talking about homes carved directly out of the living rock. Just think about that for a second. I mean, really picture it. Not a house that's built on the land, but a home that's carved out of it. Your walls, your ceiling, everything is part of the Earth's natural geology. Now, it's so easy to dismiss this as something purely from, the Stone Age. But as we're about to see, this whole concept is making a serious comeback. It's offering some powerful lessons in sustainable living for our modern world. So where does a story like this even begin? Well, it starts with our most fundamental human need, shelter. And it's all about tracking our evolution from just finding a place to hide to actively creating a home. You have to remember, for our earliest ancestors, finding a natural cave wasn't really a choice. It was a lifeline. It was this ready-made defense against harsh weather, against predators, a place that needed almost zero modification to become a refuge. It was all about pure survival. But what's really fascinating is that this wasn't just some isolated idea. It actually evolved into a global tradition. You have people all over the world, completely independently, arriving at the exact same brilliant solution. I mean, the sheer diversity of cultures that embraced this is just incredible. You've got the amazing artistic sanctuaries in Lascaux, the communal cliff dwellings in the Americas. Living inside the Earth was a truly universal human experience. And this right here marks a huge evolutionary leap. We went from finding shelter to making it. That move, from a discovered cave to a carved dwelling, that's the jump from just being practical to showing deliberate design and real human ingenuity. So that brings us to a really unique and frankly advanced example, the rock houses of England. We're not talking about prehistoric caves anymore. We're talking about sophisticated homes carved during the medieval period and then used for centuries. The key to all of this was the local geology. The soft sandstone cliffs you find in places like Derbyshire are, relatively easy to work with, just hand tools, but they're also stable enough to be structurally sound. This allowed people to quite literally sculpt their homes right out of the landscape, with a level of detail you just couldn't get with harder rock like granite. And get this was not some short-lived fad. These rock houses were a continuous part of English rural life, all the way from the medieval era into the 20th century. That is an incredible centuries-long history of people living in these places. So who exactly lived in these remarkable homes? Not kings or queens, that's for sure. It was everyday working people. They were miners, farmers, laborers, people who needed practical, affordable shelter that was close to their jobs. Carving a home was way cheaper than building one from scarce wood or expensive stone. These homes were born out of pure economic necessity. And make no mistake, these were not simple holes in a cliff. Not at all. They were complex homes with multiple rooms for different things. They engineered chimneys directly into the sandstone for heating and cooking, and they carved out windows to let in natural light. This was sophisticated, practical architecture at its best. Now, you might be thinking this is all ancient history, right? But the story isn't over, not by a long shot. Let's take a look at how this ancient way of life has been so brilliantly adapted for the 21st century. So over in Matmata, Tunisia, these incredible underground homes aren't just historical relics. They are living, breathing communities. They provide natural cooling in a really hot climate, and they draw in tourists from all over the world who want to see this unique tradition alive and well. Then you go to Guadix, Spain, and they've taken it a step further. Ancient caves there have been completely transformed into modern homes and even boutique hotels. You can literally book a stay in a luxury cave. How cool is that? And in China, the traditional Yaodong homes on the Lawless Plateau are still widely used, but now they're often upgraded with modern essentials like electricity and plumbing. It just goes to show how adaptable this kind of housing can be. So, what's the big takeaway here? Why does studying these ancient homes even matter today? Well, it turns out they offer some pretty powerful lessons for the modern world. At their very core, these rock houses are a masterclass in sustainable design. Think about it. They use the ultimate local material, the earth itself. They require very little energy to create, and their natural insulation keeps them cool in the summer and warm in the winter. The legacy here is just so powerful. It's a story of human ingenuity, first and foremost. It's a practical blueprint for eco-friendly building that architects are actually studying today. And of course, it's a vital, tangible link to how our ancestors actually lived their lives.
And that leaves us with one final thought. As we search for more sustainable ways to live on this planet, it's really worth asking, could the secrets to our future be found not in some new, amazing technology, but carved into the ancient stone right beneath our feet?